Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another fun-filled video for you. And if this may seem like deja vu, it is and it isn't. If you guys remember the little dog on the box on my last video, the name of the company is called Boost Blades. Okay, so this might be deja vu for you, but it's not, because guess what, guys? I got another knife from Boost Blades. Now, my experience with the Boost Blade Hound was so fun, I decided to go ahead and order. Well, actually, I didn't order it. I got it on the secondary market because the price was just too ridiculous to beat. But I decided to order the Boost Blade Carbon Fiber Titanium Smoke Mini. That is the knife we're going to be taking a look at today. And we're just going to go over this little fun guy. And before we begin, let's go ahead and do some specs on this knife so you guys can get an idea. So the knife blade length is 3.2. The blade thickness on this knife, hold that up there so you can see it. The blade thickness on this knife is 0.125. The weight of the knife is 1.5 ounces. It is an incredibly light knife, way lighter than the Boost Blade Hound. The handle length is 3.8 inches. The overall length of the knife from the tip all the way to the back of the knife is 7 inches. We have a CPM 20CV steel, and the handle material is 6AL 4V titanium. It is a frame lock, and one of the things I forgot to mention in the last video is that this knife and the Hound is manufactured by We Knives, the Chinese knife company. So the knife is designed in the good old USA by William Booth of Boost Blades, and We Knives manufactures the knives. Now keep in mind, at this point in time, William Booth does have a few in-house custom handmade knives that he has made himself that have nothing to do with We Knives. However, these two production knives here, yeah, they are produced by We Knives and designed by William Booth. Wanted to clear that up before I got that information wrong. So, that being said, I got the specs out of the way. Let's go ahead and take a look at this knife and find out what does this knife have to offer. Well, let's take a look. First of all, for any of you guys that are steel heads, we got CB20 steel. Can't be beat. That is a super steel, as everybody knows. Although these days, I seem to notice that word's getting used less and less. I don't know why. But yeah, CB20 is a super steel. This is a front flipper design. Unlike the Boost Blade Hound, which was a forward flipper, this is an actual front flipper design. We have a really fantastic frame lock on this piece. Really beautiful blue titanium pocket clip, blue pivot. Maybe it's blurple-ish colored, I guess. So it's kind of blue and purple together, so it's blurple, I guess. Same with the color of the pivot. And we also have some black, we have a slab of black marble carbon fiber. Really very nice. So, what makes this knife so unique? Not just the fact that it's a front flipper, but it is incredibly small and incredibly light. I mean, this knife is just an amazing little piece. It's basically the size of a pen. If I can find a pen around here. Yeah, I don't have a pen. Sorry about that. But yeah, the knife is basically the slim size of a pen. It's just real small. And it is really, really very light. This thing will disappear in your pocket. Again, like the Boost Blade Hound, look at that titanium frame lock. It's a very thick frame lock for such a small knife. I mean, you would expect it would be a lot thinner, but actually it's pretty thick on there. And the knife is so small. The knife does run on ball bearings. It's not a drop shut knife, and I'll tell you why. Because the knife is just ridiculously light. This blade is really very, very light. There is no way in the world this knife would ever fall shut. But yes, it does run on ball bearings. I actually oiled it a little bit to see if it would go. It didn't. It doesn't do the drop shut. Again, the blade is very, very light. But adding a little oil to it did make the action even better, even though I didn't really have to do that. One of the things I like about this knife is that the front flipper is so accessible. If you're going to have a front flipper knife, this is the perfect one to have, especially for people that have never handled front flippers. I've got some friends that are not into front flippers just basically because every time they try and flip the knife goes flying across the room. I mean, it's not funny, but, it's something like, it's something that you have to work on. I mean, there's no... I'm no different than those guys. It's just that I'm around front flippers more, so I'm actually able to front flip a knife no matter what it looks like. I mean, in any form or fashion. I don't even have to hold the knife in order to flick this little knife here. I could just hold it lightly. What's also great is if you're into middle finger flicking the knife, that can be done as well, because they do give you this sort of hole there, which they've actually improved on, because there is a bigger version of this knife called the Smoke TS1. I'm going to be getting that one soon from my buddy James. Thanks so much. He said he's going to sell it to me, and as soon as I get the cash for that one, I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. The marble carbon fiber is a whole slab of marble carbon fiber on this knife. It is extremely attractive. Really very nice. I love the way that looks. It's one of the things I love about knives like this, where it's like half and half. I mean, you got the lock side all titanium, and then the front side is this light slab of carbon fiber. It makes it really, really attractive. Really attractive. The ergos on this knife, if you got big hands, you're probably gonna look at this knife, as my buddy Jim calls it, a toy. Referring to a knife as a toy, any knife, I think that's like an insult, but he said it was a toy to him because he's got large hands. I don't. I have fairly small hands, so I can get actually all four of my fingers on this knife, so it's very, very comfortable. You've got a nice thumb ramp there, but because the hand is so small, the knife is so small, your thumb doesn't like naturally comfortably go there when you're cutting. It tends to kind of ride up a little bit, which is fine. That's fine. Even if you don't, if your hand, you'll find your thumb is more comfortable with your hand on top of the blade like this, doing any cutting tasks, than like this, as the knife maker intended it to be. But this is also comfortable too. It's just that I find myself doing that more than doing this more. Maybe for you it might be different. The aesthetics on this, I do love it. I love all the back spacer, that blurple color, which I thought I hated. Every time I look at it, it actually looks a lot nicer. I love how the screws kind of accentuate the titanium on that. Really very, very nice. The black marble carbon fiber kind of jumps out at you when you hit it with the light. Kind of has sort of like that 3D effect. Really love that. There's a hole cut in there so you can kind of see the knife when you close it. My opinion is I don't think it works quite... I mean, aesthetically, I don't think it's as aesthetically pleasing as it could be. Only because I think that, and this is me being nitpicky, and for anyone out there who's incredibly nitpicky, so this is for you nitpicky people, when you close the knife, it doesn't, you can still see like the back part of the titanium frame. It doesn't exactly match up exactly with the hole, which is what I think was the look that he was going for aesthetically. Because when you close it, see if I can get the light a little better on there. So when you close it, even though, you can still see like a little bit of the back of the frame, the frame lock in that. I don't think that's the look he was going for. I think what he was looking for was to have the carbon fiber match up exactly with the knife so that when you close it, aesthetically it would look like the back frame lock completely disappears. So I think maybe he kind of missed the mark on that, but not really, because it's still a pretty aesthetic. It's just not as beautiful, 100% aesthetically pleasing as you would like it to be. At least the way I think, because it does kind of not upset your eyes, but it just looks kind of weird to see the back of the titanium frame lock in the picture when you close the knife. And I don't think that's that's really the way that the design should be. But, it's being nitpicky. It's really small and minute, and it's not really considered a complaint. It's just an observation. So let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons on this knife so you guys can see exactly how ridiculously small and cool this blade really is. So let's go ahead and get into that. Why don't we start out with the brother of that knife, the Boost Blade Hound, even though you guys probably, for anyone that's got a Boost Blade Hound, I'm sure there's some of you guys out there who's got one. Okay, so as you can see, it's smaller than the Boost Blade Hound. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Benchmade Anthem. So you guys can get a look. So the Benchmade Anthem is a knife that has a 3.5-inch blade. So you can see that this knife is much, much larger. So you can see, now get an idea. Let's put it up against a bigger, maybe even a little bit bigger knife. How about the Kershaw carbon fiber bare knuckle knife? Limited edition, which a lot of people are kind of after. If you can find one of those, it's like that knife's going for like almost $300 now, if you can get a hold of that one. Alrighty. How about the Zero Tolerance 0900? Okay, so lengthwise, the ZT-0900 is a little bit shorter, or I guess a bit smaller than the Boost Blade Smoke. But keep in mind how wide and fat the ZT-0900 is. As compared to the Smoke, Mini Smoke. Let's put it up against the Zero Tolerance 0562. For those of you that have one of those knives, I'm sure a lot of you guys have that knife. That's like the knife these days that just screams knife, 0562. How about another one? I don't know if you guys remember this piece. This is the Spyderco Bradley Air. I might be selling this knife in case anybody's interested in purchasing it with M4 steel. I might not. I don't know yet. Not sure. So there you have it up against Bradley Air. And for the final knife, how about the Spyderco Swish Bowie? So there you go. You've had several looks at to see the size difference on some of these knives by putting up against some of these knives. Let's do one more. This one's kind of a new one by Benchmade. The Tengu the Tengu Flipper by Benchmade. So there you have it, the size comparisons for you. And let's get back to more on this piece. So yeah, I mean, this knife is really unique in many ways. It's a skinny knife. I mean, if you have big hands, you're not going to enjoy having it. At the same time, one of the great advantages of owning a knife this size and the way it looks is it's a perfect office knife. I mean, this knife is so small. If you're an office person and you need a knife, you can actually take this knife and chuck it in your shirt top pocket with your pen. Look how thin that is. Look how freaking thin that is. That's just really, really small. And the pocket clip looks like it could go on the top of his shirt. Speaking of which, this is not a deep pocket carry clip. Let's see, probably, I mean, if you were to put it on something, I don't do this either, but I'll do it on this video. I mean, if I can do that. Get a little towel here so you guys can get a look. Whoa, it's all dusty in here. So let's say this was like your pants. Yeah, see, so it'll ride up. Still that much will be sticking out of your pocket when you put it in your pants pocket. So not much, but I mean, yeah, I think it probably could have been maybe a touch higher, kind of making the knife disappear more, but whatever. It makes no difference to me because I'm really not a pocket clip guy. I mean, I just basically like to have a pocket clip on my knife for aesthetics. But other than that, when I'm carrying a knife, I just make sure it's the only thing in that pocket. Nothing else goes in there to avoid scratches. Got a nice drop point blade on that. You've got a lot of cutting surface on this little knife. I don't know how many inches, but you've got about that much before the belly pops up on that knife. So you can also have a lot of nice drawing action when you're cutting on that blade. So that's kind of nice. So it's just kind of nice. So it's small, but it's long, which is good, which means that you can do a lot of tasks with this knife. And the blade is just the right size for any cutting task. The lockup on this, yeah, the lockup on this looks like it's right, maybe 60%, maybe. I don't know. I know it's more than 50% from what I can see. And also, keep in mind, there's no blade play on this knife. This little knife is solid as a freaking rock. I mean, this thing, there's no way that you're going to be able to disengage this knife, even if you were to slam it down. It's just not going to happen, because look how thick that titanium is on such a small knife. So that's also an advantage. I do think that disengaging the frame lock could have been a little bit more comfortable. I find myself kind of, because the knife is so light and so small, and the titanium is so thick, I'm kind of more conscious of when I disengage it. It's not as easy in that sense, but I think what I'm missing here is that you do get used to it. You know, again, any knife you have in your collection or in your arsenal, you get used to it eventually, and you're gonna have to kind of keep that in your mind when you're purchasing knives. Is that once you buy the knife and you've got it in your hand, flipping it, disengaging it, whatever you're gonna be doing with it, cutting with it, it's just gonna become second nature. Even just doing the front flipper action on this. I mean, like I said, he's made the front flipper incredibly accessible, even for people who do not enjoy flipping front flipper knives. I mean, I can just sit here and pop it like that. Nobody died. But yeah, I didn't have a good grip. But yeah, I mean, I can basically just sort of pop it open, easy. And because the pocket clip is part of the grip, your hand will never block the frame lock. When you flip it, it's just not going to happen, because that pocket clip just rides in your hand and blocks any blocking that you would experience from having the knife not open, unlike the Boost Blade Hound that I showed you guys last week. If you're not holding that knife the correct way, and maybe you're trying to cover that frame lock, guess what? You're not going to be able to open it. It's just not going to happen. See, it's very, as soon as I put my finger on that frame lock, I can't open the blade. I mean, look, now I can't do it. See? It's just not possible. So you have to make sure you keep your hand away from that area, versus the Boost Blades Mini Smoke, where the pocket clip kind of helps you in making sure you don't get your hand in the way of that frame lock so that you can open it easy. I think that triangle or whatever that pivot is really kind of pretty also. And yeah, while I'm not a fan of purple, the blurple color is really, I mean, it's really growing on me. Another thing too is that aesthetically, I do love his back spacers. Because to me, and this is one thing I've said before in my videos, when it comes to back spacers, I like the back spacer either completely closed all the way or just have standoffs. This knife is an exception. I just think that that little line of purple color going just halfway down, to me, now all of a sudden it's attractive. I don't know why, but it looks fantastic to me versus, you know, having standoffs. So I also do like that mix between that old world look of that black marble carbon fiber versus the futuristic look of that pocket clip with the lines going across it like that. I mean, I just think he picked the perfect design for that. You got old world, you got some futuristic looks. Even the backspacer looks more futuristic than the you know, say the black marble carbon fiber look, which seems to look more old-fashioned. So, I mean, when it comes to flipping it, you can flip it like this. You can middle finger flick it, right? Which is something that they improved on the original Smoke, which is a 3.5-inch version of this knife. You couldn't middle finger flick the Smoke TS1, which is the larger version of this knife. So there you have it, the Boost Blades Carbon Fiber Smoke Mini, which is the improvement on the older version, which is a full 3.5-inch knife. And a lot of people are really finding some serious happiness with this one as opposed to the older knife, which is much larger than this one. Although I'm not sure, I've never had that knife yet, but I'm going to have it, so that'll be another interesting video to compare this one up against its original, you know, to pretty much basically compare the original to its predecessor, so there you have it, the Boost Blade Smoke Mini. You got my thoughts on it. Overall, I think it's a fantastic knife. I think it's a great office knife. I love the fact that we have 20 CV steel on there, so it can cut pretty much anything. At the same time, I love the idea that this knife is so small, you can carry it in the office and it probably would not be seen as anything threatening. We got a beautiful drop point blade on there. I love that drop point blade with a lot of cutting surface and a little bit of a belly for drawing cuts. So basically, you're getting everything you could possibly want on a knife. In a much smaller package. So in reality, it's almost like they took all the qualities of a knife like this and shrunk it down. In general, I'm saying. I'm not that I'm comparing this knife to this one, but I mean, you know, it's got 20 CV steel. I mean, you know, you got everything you want on there. And it's almost as if, though, they're trying to take all the qualities on a large knife and put it into a small little office knife. At least that's what it seems like to me. Because you can cut some heavy-duty boxes with this little thing, I'm sure. I don't know, I'm going to test it out and find out. But I'm pretty sure you could do that with this knife. This is a great slicing knife. And like I said, the titanium on this knife is so thick that even if you were to cut really thick, heavy cardboard boxes, the titanium frame lock would not break or disengage or anything. It's just freaking thick for a small knife. So this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off, giving you my thoughts on the new Boost Blades Mini Smoke Carbon Fiber. I forgot to mention the price on this knife. If you were to buy it on his website, you are looking at, with taxes, I'm going to guess like right around maybe $275, because the knife goes, I believe, for, I have to check it out on the website, but I think he's selling it for like $250, maybe. About $250. But you can pick yourself up a brand new one right now on his website. He's got all the colors. It comes in blue. It comes in purple. It comes in like regular gray titanium. It comes in a bunch of other colors. I believe it comes in red too. I don't know. You have to check out the website. But this is the only knife on Boost Blades that is currently available. So definitely, if you want to get one of these or check one of these out, go ahead and purchase one off of Boost Blades website, or you can go to eBay and purchase one on the secondary market there. Which is kind of a funny quick story before I exit this video. I wasn't even intending to buy this knife. Because the guy just kept, when he originally sold the knife, he was selling it for $264, and I said, you know, I looked at it, I kept it on my watch, and I was like, no, I don't think I want it for $264, but because I had it on my watch radar in eBay, the guy kept sending me offers. He went down to, like, I think from $264, he went down to, like, I think $230, and then he went down to $220, and finally I got so annoyed, I looked at him and said, you know what, freaking $200, that's it. If you don't, if he's not gonna, there's no way in hell he's gonna take $200 for that little knife when they're selling it for $250 on the Boost Blade website. He's not gonna do $200, so I just made him an offer of $200. And then 10 minutes later, he goes, I look on my eBay, and it said sold for $200. I'm like, holy shit, man. Really? And so I wound up buying it, and that's how you guys are watching this video right now. So there you have it. Boost Blades Mini Carbon Fiber Smoke. Check it out on boostblades.com. This is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy. I don't want to let this video go on any longer. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And yeah, I do have another custom knife coming in about a month. In between that time, if I come up with any more discussion videos, I may be doing that until that knife comes. Or maybe I'll wind up buying the larger version of the Smoke. Before that, we will see. So this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off. I want to thank all my watchers. I got 330 of you guys now that are watching, or at least I got a small army of followers, and I'm grateful to have those people watch my channel. I really appreciate it, and all your comments. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and happy knife hunting, all you guys. Have a good evening.